Well, here I am with the second half of the dynamic duo, as we talked about. Tim Hunter, the coach of the Moose Jaw Warriors, getting ready for the 2019-2020 season. And it's going to be an adventure because every year I talk to Tim. We meet at the training camp over at Yara, and I say, what's the team look like? He'll say, we got a finesse team this year. And he'll tell me, we have a speed team this year. We have a tough team this year. So what kind of team do you have this year? Because I didn't get to ask you that question yet.
Well, we're going to have a young team, a real young and developing team that has a lot of rookies, guys that haven't played Western Hockey League games. And it's going to be a challenge for everyone involved, both in the players and myself and our coaching staff.
That's for sure. Yeah, I was looking, and last year we were talking to Alan and just saying at the beginning of the year the team roster changed markedly during the course of the season as he tried to upgrade and address and get you players that would be beneficial. This year, you said it's a young team, a lot of 17-year-olds potentially, I think, on the team, but you've got choices to make, and you've got some opportunities for 20-year-olds coming in, which might give you some different perspective on the team that you have.
Well, we're trying to build a group of players for next year and the year after, and stay competitive in the process. And the 2002 born 17-year-old hockey players, in 2 years they'll be 19, and that's when you'll have your best hockey team. Most successful teams in the Western Hockey League, that us winning the regular season championship, and take Prince Albert for example, last year winning the playoffs, they're an older team. 13 to 15, 19-year-olds, and add in your 20-year-olds, and then you sprinkle in some rookies. So to be successful, to win a championship and get to the Memorial Cup, you have to be an older team. So we're building now for that period of time, 2 years from now. So the real core of the group are 2002 born guys, and the rest of the guys will help those guys develop and help us stay competitive.
Yeah. And you've got a pretty good leadership group, I think, coming forward. Like Hunt is a very strong presence on the ice, a very skilled player, and a good leadership player.
Well, Damon's been through a lot of great experiences with Hockey Canada, so that's really helped his maturity and his growth and his ability to take on a leadership role. We have, obviously Luke Ormsby as a 20-year-old, Carson Denemy, Tate Popple, Matthew Benson. These guys are older players, and they're going to be looked upon to carry some of that leadership as well and help guide these young guys through this process.
You had some of the 15-year-olds you had were pretty, they're young, they're 15-year-olds, but I watched Jagger
Jagger Furcus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's
a small guy, but he's got nice skill set.
That's the fun part of this job, and our scouts do a great job of identifying these young guys in the draft and bringing them into camp, and then we assess them at camp and then take them on by signing them and getting them into our development plan. And Jagger, for example, it was a later pick, a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick. I can't remember, but a guy that should have went in the first 2 rounds, and we had him slotted to go there, but we didn't have a pick there, and he still was around when we were picking. And he's going to be a special player in this game, so we're excited to have him in our program. And those are the guys that are the future. In 2 years, he'll be a 17-year-old. He'll be a good 17-year-old on an older 19-year-old team, and that's what you want. Lots of depth through the lineup, and to allow these guys to develop. So, right from Eric Allery as a 16-year-old this year, played games last year as a 15-year-old. He's another guy that's a special player, and he's going to be part of that growing group as we move forward. So we're really excited about these guys, and it's all about getting as much skill and as much depth as you can.
Yeah, and getting them the opportunity to play, because this year you've got, you're going to have four lines that are going to get a pretty good opportunity to play more than, say, 1 or 2 years before.
Well, last year we had 36 players that played games for us in Moose Jaw. So a lot of turnovers, and we only have 16 returning Western Hockey League experienced players. So, if you're a young guy, there's opportunity, and it's what you do with that opportunity. Do you seize the opportunity and take advantage of it, and develop and take ownership in your own development, and push the pace?
Yeah, and goaltending, of course, is everybody's watching and saying, oh, well, I'm thinking you've got two 20-year-old spots or somebody senior, and that may happen sometime because the two young guys that you've got playing right now are good young guys, but they're just young guys.
Well, that's part of training camp, is to figure out who's the best qualified to fill that backup role. We'll be looking for another goalie to be our number one until Adam Evanoff comes back, and which guy is going to be the guy that's going to be the backup and who's going to develop, and we'll make that determination over here the last 3 games of our preseason and maybe part of the early going. We're in no hurry. We want to make the right decision, and a lot of times with the younger players, keeping a 16-year-old, you make some wrong decisions because it's a tough year if they're not developing and having success.
And I think you guys are in a good position because you have some needs, but you don't need them today, and you can wait for other teams to have to make hard decisions, and that'll give you some opportunity to make some good choices.
Yeah, and that's Al's job. We collaborate on a lot of this, but being patient, knowing what's out there, and knowing what we have to offer, and to make a deal, if we're going to make a deal to get a goaltender or other 20-year-olds. Everyone's in a different position in all those regards. So we've got lots of players at camp here to fill lineups and get through the exhibition season and start the season, and then we'll refine our lineup as we go along.
That's for sure. And your defense that came in is looking pretty solid because you've got some good leadership back there and good age, the young people who can play.
Well, yeah, having lots of defensemen. It takes 8 defensemen to get through a season that can play the game, and we've got more than that. We're waiting on Braden Miller to get in the lineup, and excited to see him. He had a good training camp, but he got hurt, so he'll play his first game on Saturday, and we're looking forward to that, and seeing the rest of these guys continue to develop through training camp.
Now, the coaching staff is the same as last year, so you have some solidarity there, something to work off of.
Well, yeah, and Mark and Scott King have enjoyed the role of being assistant coaches, and those guys are like players. They're always growing, as myself. We're always trying to get better as people, as coaches, and that's going to improve our hockey team. And everyone puts their time in to improve themselves personally, and that helps the team as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I know you're going to have a good season. There's a chance for you as a coach to develop some of these young guys and teach them some skills and teach them some attitudes that will help them be successful during the year.
Well, that's it. And it's a coach is a teacher, and we teach. And there's some things that are hard to teach, and some things are easy. And we just have to put more time into the ones that are hard than the ones that are easy.
For sure. And just to touch for the summer, this is the first summer in about 3 or 4 years you haven't had to be involved with Hockey Canada, and you had a chance to do some fishing.
Well, yeah, and I made up for it. I fished probably 5 different times, 5 different places across Western Canada, right from Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, and the Washington coast, and got some crabbing in as well. So exciting summer. You have to recharge and enjoy the off season. It is what it is, and take advantage because the season's long, and there's some long days and some hard work ahead.
Tim, thanks very much for taking time. I know when we set the time to come, it was like a minute to go, and you come because you've got everything just logically. And when you walked in today, you said 12:45. I go, yeah, 12:45.
Ready to go. Yeah, that's it. You have to be on time as a coach.
Yeah. Thanks very much, and have a great season.
Thank you.
Okay, that wraps up our Warrior show today, but thanks to the management and the coaching staff to be with us and share with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon on Moose Jaw this week.